Hello and welcome to Sports Today and 5 at 5. I'm back after the test match, like I promised, because the post match show was on, so I couldn't do 5 at 5. Not the best day for Indian cricket, but I mean, we've analyzed this. It's an aberration. We are very confident that India will come back. More after the Irfan Pathan video. Take a look and download the House app. Take a look.
क्या आप भी किसी अपने सपने मेरे तुम्हारे टीम 11 पे टीम बना रहे हो और बच्चों के साथ खेल रहे हो? हमारे साथ खेलोगे? हाउस ऐप पे खेलो लेजेंड्स के साथ. हमें हरा और जीतो डबल कैश. Log on to houseapp.com and win real cash.
First news point today at 5 at 5. India winning against Australia in Australia. Extremely interesting, 2-1. England winning against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka, 2-0. West Indies taking the lead against Bangladesh in Bangladesh, 1-0. England taking the lead against India in India, 1-0 so far in the 4-test series. This is a fascinating trend that is emerging in world cricket. Away teams doing well on away tours, making the game that much more interesting. For a while, what had happened was any team that traveled would lose. If you really think, India went to England, lost. England came to India, 4-0, lost. India goes to Australia, 2013-14. That series, if I remember, lost. Australia comes to India, loses. So it was becoming a pattern all over world cricket that any team that is traveling to a particular destination would lose. Home advantage was counting for almost everything, and all results were going that particular way. Over the last few months, we are seeing a noticeable change. Not for once are we suggesting that England will win the series. I actually don't think England will. I am very much of the opinion that India will bounce back in the very next test match and make a statement. This team is known for that, and I do think the first test match is an aberration. But even if I say so, the fact that England has drawn first blood tells you that a very interesting trend is emerging in world cricket, and that actually can only make the game healthier. Because if teams start traveling well, and if teams start winning away from home, our game is richer. And that's what we are seeing now almost every part of the world. England in Sri Lanka, England in India, West Indies in Bangladesh, India in Australia. We are seeing consistently the teams starting to do well away from home. Number two, Virat Kohli dismisses any speculation about Ajinkya Rahane, saying that just about 3-4 test matches back at Melbourne, Ajinkya Rahane scored that amazing 100. He is an impact player, and along with Cheteshwar Pujara is one of the stalwarts of the Indian middle order batting and part of the Indian test batting. And he's right. Ajinkya Rahane, okay, let's put it on the table that Ajinkya Rahane, for the standards that we know of him, has been inconsistent. There's no two ways about it. Ajinkya Rahane scores after that Melbourne 100. If you really take a look, 37, 22, 4, and then the two failures in this particular test match. People can argue that, Ajinkya Rahane has not been as consistent as we would want him to be. And they're right in saying so. But to say that Ajinkya Rahane needs, to be dropped, or India needs to relook at Ajinkya Rahane, way too premature. Our problem is after every test match, if India loses one, we lost one in Adelaide, the whole world came crashing down. We've lost one in Chennai, the whole world has come crashing down. That's not what it is like or should be like. The Chennai test match, England played better. They had the run of the draw. They had the toss. And that was a big toss to win given the nature of the pitch in the first 2 days. Joe Root batted wonderfully well, is going through a dream spell of form. And final day, Jimmy Anderson produced one of the best, sort of quality spells of fast bowling that we have seen in recent times in the subcontinent. Keeping all of these things in mind, they are deserving winners. But to say that, oh, Rohit Sharma is not a test match player, oh, Ajinkya Rahane should be dropped, these are all premature statements that need not be said at this point in time. It's just one test match. And I firmly believe, and I'm saying this on Sports today, that come Saturday, come the second test match, India will bounce back. There's no two ways that India has the ability. All that India needs to do is bring about their A game. All that India needs to do is maybe look at one change, look at the team combination, and look at how they want to shape up going into the second test. News point number 3. Will there be a change in the Indian team in the second test? Is the big question. Will Kuldeep Yadav or Rahul Chahar come into the mix? Kuldeep Yadav, the argument that Virat Kohli also gave, and the think tank's argument is Ravi Ashwin, ball comes in. Kuldeep Yadav, ball comes in. Washington Sundar, ball comes in. Shahbaz Nadeem was able to take the ball out, adding variety to the Indian attack. They think that with Kuldeep Yadav, the attack will become unidimensional, with all of them bringing the ball in. So if Washington Sundar continues to hold on to his place, will Kuldeep Yadav get a look in, or will India look to Rahul Chahar? If they look to Rahul Chahar, what does that mean for Kuldeep Yadav as a player? How will that impact him mentally is also a question that we need to ask ourselves. Having said that, the argument that the captain made in the press conference is the ball coming in. All of them bring the ball in, Kuldeep, Ashwin, and Washington Sundar. And that's something that the Indians are considering or will consider as well going into the second test. But Shahbaz Nadeem clearly was outbowled by Jack Leach. And Jack Leach, whose experience is not that much, Shahbaz Nadeem has been around in international cricket for a fair while, rather first class cricket for a long time, has had the taste of international cricket more recently, should have done better in conditions that suit him better, and he knows well. Unfortunately, the number of good deliveries, in between, there were loose balls as well, but the number of good deliveries produced by Jack Leach were more than what Shahbaz Nadeem produced on day 4. And that actually cost India quite a bit because we needed a good backup for Ravichandran Ashwin, which we did not get in the first test match. So that one spot, I think, is what the Indians will think about. I do think Deep Dasgupta confirms to me that he saw Akshar Patel batting in the nets in Chennai behind the ground. So he confirms, and Deep Dasgupta commentating for the host broadcaster and the BCCI confirms that Akshar Patel was indeed batting in the nets. If Akshar Patel is fit, it will be Akshar Patel, but if he's not fit, will Shahbaz Nadeem hold on his spot? Maybe not. Will India look to Kuldeep or will they go to Rahul Chahar? Is a question that we will be deliberating on Sports Today and keep bringing you the updates. News point number 4, and this is again very interesting coming from this particular test match, is the way Jimmy Anderson bowled. I mean, whole this debate about age, the way Jimmy Anderson bowled in Sri Lanka and the way Jimmy Anderson has bowled in India has been absolutely special. And if you see, Sachin Tendulkar had explained Jimmy Anderson's reverse swing grip is perhaps one of the best exponents of reverse swing. And from that period, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill, almost the 3 generations and or 3 stalwarts of Indian cricket over a period of time, all of them have been sort of troubled and picked on by Jimmy Anderson. Tells you how good he is as a bowler. And the third test, being a day-night test match, makes this series that much more spicy, with both Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad most likely to play that particular game. But before that, we have the second test. And as I said, I think India will make one change, and chances are very likely that India will bounce back and win that particular test match in Chennai come Saturday. Last point, again, I mean, this is most interesting, that the ICC table, India has now dropped to number 4. England has gone up to the top. New Zealand and Australia follow. Now, these rankings will change again in the second test. As we all know, India needs to win 2. England needs to win 1 more to knock India out. So there is a lot to play for in the next 3 test matches of this particular series to decide which team goes ahead and plays the World Test Championship final in England in June. I did not say Lords because chances are it's not Lords. It will be Southampton. So from what we hear, it will be Southampton. But the next 3 test matches will decide the next team. India will treat it as a 3-match series. Don't make too much of these rankings because after 1 test match, these rankings will move again. And as I said, there is every likelihood after winning the next, if India does so, they will again be back in the reckoning, which I think is going to be the case. So at the moment, it's England at the top, India at number 4. So it's England, if they win 2 more, they can all of a sudden catapult themselves, and they have won multiple away tests now on the trot. Can they make history and do so and beat India in India comprehensively and make the finals on home soil is also something of interest, though I think that is still improbable and is unlikely to happen. That's all we have on 5 at 5 on Sports Today. We will put out that particular conversation of mine with Phil Simmons about Kyle Myers tomorrow. Watch out this space. Kyle Myers, the new sensation from the West Indies, double hundred on debut. How is he like? Simmons says he's one of the hardest hitters of the ball in Test match cricket now. What did the West Indians do different? How did the how did the West Indians approach the chase? What the celebration was like? What did the coach tell Kyle Myers? A very candid Philip Simmons on Sports Today. We will put out that for you tomorrow. So watch out that space and more that's coming up for you on Sports Today. Thank you very much. Keep subscribing to the channel. Back us. Notification bell right there. Subscribe to the channel, for this is your platform. And I will also be back with you with 5 at 5. Thanks for watching.